everyone, it's Junie checking back in with you, and we're going to look at some horror ray astrology with what happened today with Chad Daybell. There is a little bit of tension towards the end of the day watching his trial. I've been watching Crush's channel, who is the aunt of JJ, and is advocates for Tylee and her Uncle Charles. And I have been watching the hearing on her channel mostly. But today when this stuff was going on with them trying to have his charges completely dismissed, I jumped on over to Scott's channel, the lawyer Scott Reich, and then watched him for a little while, trying to figure out what the hell, like, could they actually throw out his case because of a clerical error? And from what I understand, they couldn't. As far as what Scott Reich said, who is a lawyer, that the judge, leaned more toward the prosecution's, claims that it's about the time frame of JJ's death. So I just wanted to attempt, like I said, I'm still learning horror ray astrology. There is a science to it, and there is an art form to it, okay? And like I tell you guys, I am a student of trying to teach myself this. I'm no expert in astrology. This is a very basic understanding of astrology, okay? But I just want to share with you what I did see on the charts. So when you do horror ray astrology, you are supposed to print out the exact time that you think of the question. Or if you call me and say that you want me to do a horror ray astrology chart for you, I would jot down that time, and it's the planets over my head in my state, okay? Not over Utah's head. I'm looking at the planets over my head because I'm asking the universe a question, okay? So this is not a natal chart. This is an event chart, okay? And I'm asking, is Chad, what is the judge thinking, basically, for Chad Daybell? And this is like right when when the judge said that he was going to go and try to, he was dismissing himself to make a decision and come back. So that's when I did this question. So I want to share with you what I see in the astrology. Okay, and also I'm sorry about the noise in the background. There's a lot of crickets outside. I do live in the city, and I swear it sounds like I live like out in the jungle, but I live in the city, and they're still doing construction on the houses that are in front of me. Somebody bought like 3 row houses and they're gutting them. So they're still working on them over there. So, I apologize for the background noise. All right. So what I'm seeing is, Libra. Libra is ruling the AC line. Our quadrant is Chad Daybell. That's him. He's Libra, and he's literally the scales of justice. Libra is the scales of justice. Okay. And the universe is obviously listening to me, and I'm, when I thought of this question, what is the judge thinking? So that means that Chad Daybell is Venus, all right, because he's being ruled by Libra. Puts him as an open enemy to us. He is an enemy to all of us. He is an enemy to the victims, okay? And Taurus is ruling that house, and Aries is ruling that house. It's kind of on a cusp. Aries is ruling the DC line, so that lets me know that this is a murder trial. He is an open enemy because it's a murder trial. Aries rules murder. Okay. Venus, Taurus. Chad obviously is losing possessions. He's spent a lot of money on, defending himself. He's riding the cusp, going into the, he just left the 8th house of death. So maybe he was hoping, I'm not really sure how to look at that he breaks that line of the 8th house of death. But because this is a murder trial, and my question was, what is the judge thinking? So that puts me up at Leo. The judge is ruled by Leo in the 10th house. The 10th house is ruled by Saturn, and he rules the government. So Saturn is in Pisces. That lets me know that we're dealing with someone who's in prison as well, because Pisces rules isolation. A lot of our Pisces, when things aren't okay with our Pisces, they can self-isolate. That is why Pisces rules prisons, mental wards, places for the mentally insane, and people that are incarcerated, locked up, isolated. So that lets me know as well that he is isolated. And that the judge is Leo. He's the 10th house. That means he's a strong authoritative figure. The sun does rule authority. He rules military, the government, okay? Meaning that this judge, I don't care what you think of him, he is going to be authoritative here. He will rule with his head, because Leo rules the head, and that he'll be, I believe he's going to be strict. Leos have a strong forthright of what is wrong and right. So whatever you think about this judge, I'm not too crazy about him either, but I feel like he is going to rule with authority here, okay? So that means that our judge's planet is the sun. And look where the sun is sitting. He's dealt with 2, so he's kind of on the cusp of Taurus and Gemini, meaning that he knows that this court case has cost a lot of money, because Taurus rules money and possessions and things like that. But he's also on two killers, okay? And his planet is sitting in the house of death. His planet is sitting in the house of transformation and death. Now, the outcome of the case is the 4th house. That's being ruled by Aquarius. So at the time that I asked this question, it was like there was something shocking going on, right? When they were asking this question, because when I asked this question, I was like, oh my God, I actually thought that his court case could get thrown out because of the clerical error with JJ. But regardless, I believe that the outcome of this trial is going to be with Pluto sitting there. Hopefully, I'm not too crazy about the death penalty, but for Chad Daybell, he deserves it. I'm sorry. I know some of you don't like the death penalty. That's just my own opinion, okay? He is responsible for what happened to these children, and the way that they died was horrific. And his influence is the whole reason why they died. And what happened to Tammy, his wife, who was loyal to him, it gave him 5 beautiful children, and how her children are betraying her is just absolutely heartbreaking with the amount of evidence that we're listening to. I don't know how these kids can look at their father and not see him for the monster that he is. So I think that the judge is leaning towards death. The judge is sitting in the house of death, and at the end of the matter, which is the 4th house, we have Pluto sitting there, guys. I think death is going to be on the table for Chad Daybell. Now, again, I'm still a student. I'm still learning. I still have a lot to learn. Okay? But either it's going to be a shocking event that death is off the table, but I really think it's going to be death. And I really pray that Tammy, Tylee, JJ, and Charles Vallow, that they all get justice. I truly pray that they get justice. And, yeah. I mean, obviously there's Mercury in the 7th house as well, meaning 2 people. And they're going over communications with emails and things like that, and phone conversations that Chad Daybell has had. I really believe with, the Mercury there in the 7th house, Chad being ruled by Venus, and, there's a connection to Pluto. which is that letter P at the bottom in the 4th house. P and L. It's the initials of the person who discovered Pluto. It's a P and an L. So I do think that death is definitely on the table for Chad Daybell. Okay, this is what my prediction. I could be wrong, guys. I'm still learning astrology. But it doesn't look good. It really doesn't. So I could include the moon into this, but I don't think it's fair that I add the moon in this because, you know, there's a jury involved and there's a decision that has to be made. So I'm really just looking at the AC line, which is Chad, looking at Chad's planet, looking at the judge, which he is Leo. He is the head of the lion. He's the king of the jungle is Leo. That's the judge. So yeah. Okay. It looks like the judge is going to lean more towards death, in my own opinion. All right. Blessings to you all. Keep praying for the victims. Pray for justice. Blessed be, guys. Bye-bye.